Real combat. Real action. Carnage Media.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Carnage Unleashed. I am not Wade. Do not adjust your sets. We are short-handed this episode, but it's going to be a fun one nonetheless. I am Kev, of course, with me, the boss man, Zac Dominique. Zac, how we doing today, brother?
We're doing fantastic. A little muggy today. I don't know if you've been outside, but it's just a tad bit muggy out there. Mike, you have to deal with any of this mugginess up where you're at?
Oh yeah, for sure. And I work in maintenance in the warehouse, and it's it gets a little sweaty back there. So
I know what you're talking about.
Man, I do not. Though I have fond memories from those days, but July and August were never part of them. I feel your guys' pain. You got people fighting over the giant human-sized fans. You know, there's like one, and each side is fighting for it. Like, dude, you've had it for the last 2 hours.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Sure.
Yeah, it's feeling a little too much like Florida in my neck of the woods with all the rain too. But we are not here, though we could all make for decent weathermen, I think. We're not here to talk too much about the weather. We've got Mike Russell, the Mycopath, with us tonight to talk with him about his upcoming bout on our July 26th card. We're also going to be talking with Ricky Stanley later in the show. So if you're watching live right now, if you have questions for Mike, I will be keeping an eye on the chat. We'll get your questions up. We'll get your questions asked. And any feedback that you have, any thoughts, we'd love to hear from you. So, Zac, I will let you start things off with us here. But I guess the final thing I'll say before we dive in is thank you, Mike, for being here. We appreciate you. It's been a minute. I'm very excited to talk with you again and catch up.
Yes. Yeah. The last time we saw you was for your matchup against Lino. So between then and now, because that was a whole different sport. That was kickboxing. So now you're going over into boxing. So what have you been doing in the meantime, training-wise, lifestyle-wise? Any changes that you've done?
Just lifestyle-wise, just being smarter, getting away from stupid stuff, eating a little healthier. I was actually a few months back, I was getting a little heavy, and I was like, yeah, it's time to get in shape. So just kind of started getting in shape and started getting back in the gym and working with my buddy Joey Hertzellers and doing some of his classes. He does some really good classes and just running a lot. And there's actually a park right down the road, Wildwood, where I run a few miles, and they have a heavy bag and a little workout area, and I hit the heavy bag, and I'm obviously barehanded because I'm just running, so I'm not like running with my boxing gloves. That'd be silly, but so it's kind of nice because it's a real heavy bag and it's hard. So just been working on technique. Like, you can't be hitting a hard heavy bag barehanded stupidly. You know what I mean? You'll hurt yourself. So it's been really helpful with the technique, and my whole thing is I run a few miles to it, and getting there is a lot of uphill, and then I try not to take any of a break. We go right to the bag, hit it for a few rounds, and then try not to take any of a break and just get back to running a few more miles. It's kind of been my core routine, but working with Joey and then getting in with Demolition a little bit, got in with them last Thursday and had some hard sparring rounds, and just eating healthier and cutting out some of the bad things and just being smarter.
Good, yeah. What? And I know, because if you don't swing right, you can bust up your ankles, your wrists on those heavy bags, especially those really. I would probably break an ankle somehow. I'd find a way. So
you just went kickboxing right away. I love it. No, that is. I'm glad we went there first, actually, because Mike, I've seen just a couple of times. I'm not super active on social media, but I've seen a couple posts. I think you're talking about getting some work put in and running, and so now I have this more. It's like a Rocky-esque montage. He's out running and then hitting the heavy bag barehanded. I assume if there was a freezer full of meat nearby, that'd be on the table. All we're missing in this heat You won't be able to lift any logs in the snow, but maybe we can get you booked for January.
It's funny you say that because there's been a couple of the hot days. Like there was a day at work, the one day it was like 90 some degrees. Everyone's like, man, this is terrible. I was like, I'm going to go run 5 miles in a hoodie and some pants. And it was like 98 degrees and humid. And the one guy's like, you ain't about that. And the other guy was like, oh, he's about that. And I was like, I'm about that. And I went out to the park and wore some layers and ran, and it wasn't all that bad, honestly. But I don't know. I like kind of put myself in the fire like that a little bit. You know what I mean? It kind of helps mentally. And then also, Zach, them lights aren't very cooling in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's kind of hot in there. So I feel like it's a good conditioning aspect. You get on layers and 98-degree weather. It's like once you're in that ring or that cage, those lights aren't going to be as bad. So that's kind of my thought process anyway.
Yeah,
good.
it makes sense. I mean, you can never have too much cardio, right? As long as you're not running miles the day of. You never have too much gas in the tank when it comes to this. I feel like that's probably an area where you're safe to maybe lean towards even trying to overdo it, where it's like, yeah, if I do nothing else today, I'm going to get my cardio in, because that's, man, I have no experience here, but I've seen it. I've seen what happens when guys get gassed out late in rounds. So it's incredibly valuable.
Well, with that, you're working on that good cardio here. Were you working on that punch cardio as well? Because you might have all the cardio for days, but if your arms tire out, what are you gonna do? So you've been working on that?
Oh, absolutely. Like I said, I go and hit the heavy bag, and I hit that a lot, and I've just been kind of doing some things with some light dumbbells and whatnot. And I had a good test last Thursday, sparring down at Demolition. I went 9 rounds and felt like I could have gone longer and felt really good. And I didn't really get tired in any of those. So like I said, I wanted to go more. I didn't feel like that was quite enough. So
that's when you're having a good training camp, when you're sparring and you're like, I don't want to stop, and coach is like, you need to stop. You're like, no, I'm in the zone. I'm feeling really good. I don't want to stop. Why are you making me stop? And they're like, get out.
Yep, absolutely. So that was a good feeling. So
that's good. That's good. So you have 3 fights of experience with boxing, pro boxing here. So out of those 3, what was your most memorable moment or time between those 3 fights?
I mean, the pro debut in Cleveland against Razimian Ford was cool just because it was the pro debut, which shout out to him. He's good. He's a really good boxer out of Ohio as well. But my most memorable was going down to Ashton, Kentucky. I fought a guy, Boz. Shout out to him. He's a really tough guy. He's from the Russian area anyways, and I think Kazakhstan, correct, I could be wrong, I believe that's correct, but went down and fought him and took it on short notice, cut a bunch of weight, and the first round I did really well. I feel like I actually probably won that first round, in my mind anyway. That's how I felt. And then after that first round, though, I told my coach, Mike Widmer, shout out to Mike Widmer. I was like, I don't have much left, man. Like, I took this on short notice. He's like, well, just throw everything at him. Like, throw the kitchen sink at him. I was like, okay, all right, cool. So went out there and I just threw everything at him, and he dodged a few, but there was quite a few shots I landed just clean right on him, and and then came right after me. And I was like, oh, crap. I just kind of took a deep breath, tried protecting myself, and he caught me with a body shot, and I was done. But it was just funny to me because it felt like the Russian stereotype held true. Like, I just cracked him hard a few times, and he just ate it like it was nothing and just walked right towards me. And I was like, oh, all right.
So you've already had your Rocky IV moment. So there.
My Rocky IV moment didn't work out well for me, but.
So is that something that you're expecting from your opponent, Ricky, coming forward, that he's going to have that Russian mentality, that want to get punched in the face, just keep on coming forward kind of thing?
I mean, I expect everything from him, but he's also a lot taller than me. So that's, I think, my biggest focus is just his length, his size. I got to really consider that and try to, get in my range when I can, but not let him just kind of keep me away from him and pick me apart. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. So is that kind of your game plan going forward, since you're fighting Ricky? It's like, okay, he's taller, so I need to be working on my inside game. So you've been, working on getting on the inside, working, and then shooting on the outside.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. I've been trying to work on my footwork and trying to be a little explosive with it, and smart with it. With the running, like I'll be running and then I'll go to the heavy bag, and I don't just stand there and hit the bag. Like I've been trying to use my footwork and move around and jump in and out, against the heavy bag and throwing shots with it. Like that's kind of been a real big focus. And then Joey Hurtsellers, his classes are great. Like that's helped my arm cardio as well, because his drills are really good and there's just a lot of different movements and stuff like that. So it's been a lot of footwork and a lot of movement. That's kind of been one of the big focuses.
Yeah, that's always the main focus is that footwork, especially in boxing. It's the most important thing, because it can put you in a great position or it can put you in a bad position. So
Absolutely.
Been in those bad positions before. They're not fun when you take the straight right hand right down the middle.
Yeah,
it's not fun.
yeah, and honestly, I will say it's been nice focusing on my boxing footwork, because all of my pro boxing matches, they've been on short notice, and I haven't really been able to like focus on boxing footwork, because as you know, it may, to the naked eye, to people who aren't like as trained, it doesn't look that different, but boxing footwork and MMA footwork is totally different. So it's been nice kind of being able to focus on the boxing footwork and the boxing stances and that stuff. That's been kind of fun, honestly.
Yeah, because you've got two different stances. Let's be honest. So MMA
Yep.
stance and a boxing stance. Boxing stance is more squared because you don't have to worry about kicks.
Exactly.
And so you're normally cockeyed when you're doing MMA, so you get that leg up and block. So completely different stances. So yeah, I can see where you're coming from of having that extra time to actually have a training camp.
Yeah.
Probably fantastic for once, right?
Yeah. It's been nice. Like it's that wider stance. Like my pro debut in boxing, it was funny because his wide stance and his foot with his leg was right in front of me, and I just looked down at it. I was like, "Ooh, oh nope, I can't kick it." And then you know what I mean? It was like that slight hesitation because I had to like stop myself because it was so appetizing just to kick his leg, but I'm like, "Oh wait, I can't do that." Like so.
We've seen that a few times in the amateur ranks, like really, really early on. I think, Zach, when you've got some young MMA guys just looking to get some stand-up work, so they're doing some amateur boxing. Sometimes you see that resist to shoot for a takedown, where it's like, "Hey, we can't do that."
I think we've seen people actually go for a takedown in one of our boxing things that we recorded.
I think we have. Check the tapes, folks. Carnage Media YouTube channel right after the show. Free fights every night right here. Sorry, guys.
Gotta plug.
I can't
plug
not plug. That's part of the job. But so I know we've talked a lot about X's and O's for the most part, Mike. But with this return to pro boxing and doing this, like, what does I was gonna say next Friday, it's next Saturday, right? July the 26th. What does July the 26th fight mean to you? Like, what is this about? Because you're doing it in a bit of, you're doing it in a very determined way. You're running a bunch of miles. You've got your individual coach, but you're also going out to Demolition to get some work in with those guys. Like, you're doing a lot to prepare for this. What does it all mean to you? What is it all about?
It's just about enjoying it. I'm getting older. I don't have a whole lot more time and a lot more fights in me. So just means a lot to just enjoy it and do it again and just embrace it while I'm able to do it. That's kind of the main focus here, is just enjoying it while I can. And yeah, just doing the best I can at the end of this and just enjoying it. That's really the main thing.
Will it be a little extra enjoyment with it being in Findlay? I know a lot of the Demolition guys. I know Demolition itself is there, so that on its own will make it a little bit of a hometown event for you. Does that add to the excitement level?
Yeah, honestly, I'm glad you brought that up. I mean, a lot of my last fights have been in Kentucky and Dearborn, Michigan, and Michigan City, Indiana, and out in Cleveland, and not anywhere near home. So it's been quite a while since I've been this close to home. And most of my fights have just kind of been by myself. I haven't really been with teammates. Couple times down in Kentucky, my last amateur MMA fights, Ferreris and Grant and Jaden were on those cards, and that was awesome. But I mean, that was 2019. So, yeah, it's been a while since I've had some teammates on a card and been close to home, and yeah, that'll definitely be pretty awesome.
Got any special? You don't have to spoil it. You don't have to tell me, but you got any special walkout ideas? I've been asking everybody this for at least any of the closer to home guys. You got anything special cooked up for your walkout?
Nothing special, but I already put out my song, NF Intro 3. I put it out there on Facebook. It's just kind of creepy at the beginning and intense, and I've been knocked a lot in my fighting career for being a little too friendly at first and not letting my path out until, later in the fight. And I think that song kind of brings Michael Path out right away. So kind of excited about that.
Nice. Well, now I'm tempted to go listen to it, but part of me wants to wait.
NF Intro 3, sorry.